You're saying here to the Isle of Man College students, one life, one chance.
Exactly.
Do what you can.
Yeah. Don't sit around asking advice all the time or complaining.
But you've got the Shuttleworth Foundation now, so you're obviously helping other people throughout the world, aren't you?
Yeah, the foundation works in an interesting way. We identify people who themselves have a drive and an idea that they think could have a really dramatic impact in the world, usually involving either technology or sort of ways of organizing things. We've done a lot of work, for example, with open textbooks. The South African government has just become the first country to embrace Wikipedia-like textbooks, essentially, which has huge advantages in terms of the cost of producing the textbooks, but also in terms of shaping textbook content, by and for the people that it's there to serve, to educate. And so we're very excited about that kind of project. We've also done initiatives in the use of public information, in getting access, bandwidth access into disaster-struck areas, low-cost telecoms. So the foundation is always doing really interesting things because they pick interesting people, and we find an individual and essentially sponsor them to pursue that idea. Sometimes they succeed, sometimes they fail. But again, it's all about taking on things that could have a broad impact, but which wouldn't otherwise happen because they're not intrinsically commercially proven. They may be viable, but they're not proven.
Now, it might be said that you are one of our most famous, non-famous Manx residents. I hope you understand what I mean by that.
Thanks for helping in that regard.
You are well known around the world, but you keep a very low profile. But why are you based here? Is it purely the tax, or did you like us, or what is it?
Well, one of my very first customers, when I was sitting in a garage, starting a business to do e-commerce, was actually a Manx company. And I had to go and look up the Isle of Man in the atlas, and I was kind of fascinated that it existed. So I was a kid in South Africa at the time, and was just curious. And then after selling my business, one of the South African banks that had an operation here, I had a good relationship with, and so we set up my international sort of investments from here, and that brought me to the Isle of Man every quarter for board meetings and trustee meetings. So I had an idea of it as a destination, and after 10 years in London, I was looking for a country lifestyle, and realized that it would be very cost effective not to be in the UK. But I was particularly attracted to the Isle of Man. Out of all of the many places that one can go, I thought the Isle of Man has a real authenticity. It has a beautiful countryside, which I think is worth defending and protecting. It has a stern but very truthful way of looking at the world, and I think there's also that, combined with the fact that there's some real innovation here, the space push to make the Isle of Man a centre in aerospace, regulatory matters, and potentially also technology matters. I think that's interesting. I'm not involved in it, but I think it's interesting.
Why not? I mean, there it is. A couple of space stations sitting up in Derby. They're the ones you even went on. I don't know, but this is fascinating that you're not actually doing that.
Because I think we choose projects, or I choose projects based on what I'm interested in doing at the time. And I think you have to. It's fun to reinvent yourself, to do new things. So rather than staying in space, I'd rather take on something different and learn more. And that doesn't mean that there aren't opportunities in space. I think, in fact, it's going to be a great growth industry, and do very well for the Isle of Man if they're able to position themselves as a leading jurisdiction for that. But again, I only have one life, and so I want to take on things that are new and interesting, and I've had the great privilege of being in space. I have lots of friends.
Been there, seen it, and got the video.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. The Isle of Man government hasn't tried to secure your services to promote us and help the Isle of Man out?
Well, I've been happy to help when asked, and there have been opportunities for me to provide a perspective, and I've been glad to do that. And I think it's savvy. I do. I think you have to look at how the world is changing and position yourself, whether it's personally or as a nation. You have to position yourself for change. Otherwise, change happens to you, and usually not for the best.
So what's Mark Shuttleworth going to be remembered for?
Hopefully longevity.
Well, you said to me today that you're saying the first person, if someone's born today that's going to live to 200. It's like, wow.
Sure, I'm not sure that the last 100 years of that is going to be so much fun.
No.
I think I will live on the basis that life could be very short, and one should chase it. Yeah.